Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what will be another great episode of the Tommy Maroon Sports Show. Why? Because we got a lot of fun right here. Whether if it is high school football, Cleveland Cavaliers, or the Cleveland Browns, you know you are in for some action-packed sports action, as I just repeated myself right there. And let's not waste any time now. Let's get to the question. Who won the very first Suburban League championship when it comes to football in 1949? And the correct answer is Hudson High School. Hudson did it in 1949. They were one of the original five, as we all know, as I mentioned a lot on this program. And now, speaking of which, let's go to the high school football playoffs. We're going to take a look at the scores of the regional quarterfinals on the left of your screen. There for Region 9, Aurora was able to beat Steubenville 27-21. In Region 6, Brecksville Broadview Heights season was over by the smallest margin of 41-38 victory for Benedictine. And for Region 5, Perry was able to beat Hudson 37-27. And finally for Region 6, Wadsworth at Art Wright Stadium, one of the best, I gotta admit, beat Olmsted Falls 35-7. So the top seeds at all of them won. Not really a surprise when it comes to postseason football. Everybody's on their nerves. Everybody's all anxious. And why not? It's the postseason. Go look at the playoff format. There's 7 different divisions based on the size of school. Division 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each division is split into 4 different regions, which leads up to a grand total of 28 regions in the entire state, because 4 times 7 is 28. And what's 28 times 7, you may ask? An incredible 224 teams. That's right. In the entire OHSAA postseason, one region champion plays another in the semifinals. The final 2 teams will play each other to win the championship of the division. And the players are going to end before December. It's pretty much March Madness, but high school football version in November. No net cutting, none of that great stuff. So, of course, we got to look at the preview for next week for the regional semifinals. Right there on the right of your screen, region number 9, the top seeded New Philadelphia going up against the 4th seeded Aurora. Have the Green Men met their match? I don't think they've met their match yet. I think they could pull off the upset against New Philadelphia. And what I believe will be a neutral site. Once it becomes semifinals and onwards, it becomes neutral sites, by the way. And I believe the state championship held at the biggest high school football field in all of the nation, Tom Benson Stadium, named after the late Saints owner. You guessed it, Tom Benson. And then Avon Lake against Wadsworth. Wadsworth trying to keep up their hot streak. Of course, they had 2 bad losses midway through the season, but they have really recovered. They have just been doing a great job all season long. Does it end this Friday, or do they continue it? Time to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's right. Put out your Cavs hats, put out your Cavs gears, and all that great stuff. Time to look at the players' stats. This was heading into the game last night against Philadelphia. Colin Sexton has 18.8 points per game. Kevin Love 18.3 with 13.4 rebounds per game. Tristan Thompson 16.4 points per game, 11.3 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson has 14.7 points per game. Now it's time to take a look at the schedule as we're trying to analyze everything courtesy of that picture where I got most of the information from. Granted, it's a little blurry, so I'll go through all of it. They are playing all the teams in the NBA. Saturday is the day with the most games. January is the month with the most games. 6-game homestand is the longest. 6-game road stand is also the longest on the road. Time to look at scores powered by, well, me and everybody here on WCTV. We all do a great job here. Cavs against the Wizards. The Cavaliers were able to win 113-100. Tristan Thompson, 21 points and 12 rebounds. Kevin Love had 16 points and I believe 12 rebounds. Thomas Bryant, 23 points. Ree Hachimura, 21 points. Excuse me if I botched that name. but the Cavs were never trailing during that game. And then the Cavs against the Knicks on a Sunday night. Guess what? The Cavs won it 108-87. Those were the first 2 points of the game. A Colin Sexton way up. Oh yeah, the Cavaliers were never trailing at all during the game. Excuse me for stuttering there. Colin Sexton, those were 2 of his 32 points. Townsend 17 points. Kevin Love 17. Julius Randle 20 points and 16 rebounds for those New York Knicks. And they scored an unusually low 36 points in the first half. And so after that game, we became 4-5, and New York was 2-8 last night against the 76ers. We lost that one 98-97. It was a well-fought, well-contested game. Now keep in mind, Philly's one of the best teams in the NBA. They can make a run to the NBA Finals, something they haven't done since 2001. And the fact that we, the Cavaliers, were able to get in that fight, not go down, and win, or not win it, but get so close to it, just goes to show that we are such a good team, a young, talented core of players. Don't have stats for it, excuse me for that, because the result was last night. Did not get the chance to do it. We are now 4-6, and now time to go to our good Cleveland Browns, good old Cleveland Browns. And to look at stats, Baker Mayfield, 2,201 passing yards, 59.9 completion percentage, 9 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and he is no longer tied with Jameis for interceptions, as Jameis Winston threw 2 interceptions last Sunday. He's at 14 picks compared to Baker's 12. Get going, Baker. Throw some more touchdowns just like what you always do. Keep up the good work, Baker. And keep up the good work, Nick Chubb, because he has 919 yards, 5.3 yards per attempt, and 6 touchdowns. Every time you give him the ball, he never disappoints. He doesn't disappoint my fantasy team. I have Nick Chubb on my fantasy team, a lackluster fantasy team with guys like Allen Robinson, Delaney Walker, and Eric Ebron that are starting. On my 5-5 fantasy team, Devontae Freeman too. Yeah, I did not draft well, and nobody ever makes moves or trades in our fantasy league, so the team that you draft is the team you're definitely going to get the entire season. And my friends some of my friends who do fantasy leagues, they're a bunch of trades and a bunch of free agent sides. And I'm like, really? Because in my fantasy league, that rarely happens. Nobody ever trades. I know I don't. There have been 0 trades this season in my dad's fantasy league. Always fun to be in my dad's fantasy league. Our entire family and some of his friends do it. Back to the Browns with Odell Beckham Jr. at 632 receiving yards, 14.4 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown. Jarvis Landry has 652 yards, 14.5 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns. These last 2 touchdowns have come within the last 2 weeks. So good going, Jarvis Landry. Keep up the good work. Time to look at the standings. What's been going on in the NFL standings, especially Cleveland Browns. They are in the 6th row. 6th column, I meant to say. Beneath the Bengals and Ravens. 3-6 record. Negative 50 net points. We are 1-3 at home, 2-3 on the road. Very weird to see that happening because usually you'd expect to be better at home than on the road. We are 3-3 against AFC teams. Our wins in the AFC have come to Baltimore, Buffalo, and the Jets. And our 3 losses have come to the Patriots. I'm trying to think right now. The Broncos. And another team, excuse me on this. Guy having a brain dead moment. We'll get back to him later. But 0-3 in the NFC. Excuse me on that. 0-3 against the NFC. Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. By the way, the other team we lost to the AFC, Tennessee. There we go. There we go. Now my brain's working. And now time for my brain and I to go to the Browns against the Buffalo Bills. And guess what? The Cleveland Browns did it. Get out all the confetti, the balloons falling, party hats, all that great stuff. The Cleveland Browns won. And they did it against a playoff team too. Who would have thunk it? It was an incredible 19-16 victory. We go to 3-6 on that. The Buffalo Bills go to 6-3. Baker, that was one of his 2 touchdown passes to Jarvis Landry. Landry, of course, got taunting for it, which subsequently led to a missed PAT. But, of course, when we win it in the end, it's okay. There's a missed PAT by Austin Siebert. But Siebert definitely redeemed himself by making 2 field goals. But Baker, 26 for 38, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. How about that? And Nick Chubb had 20 attempts for 116 yards. Jarvis had 9 receptions, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown. Josh Allen went 22 for 41, 266 passing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Yes, 2 rushing touchdowns for the quarterback. John Brown had 5 receptions and 77 yards. And the go-ahead score for the Brownies was a 7-yard touchdown pass from Baker to Rashard Higgins. That was Rashard Higgins' first touchdown reception of the season. And I believe he will not be playing this Sunday, or tomorrow, Thursday, excuse me, because of violating team rules. But it gave the Browns the lead. And then Stephen Hauschka, from 53 yards, he missed the field goal. He missed 2 field goals in the game. Had he made both, we would have lost. And I just went, or all of us, we all went crazy when he missed it because the Browns won. And they snap a 4-game losing streak. And it's good to be out of that funk. And up next, we will be going up against the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. We haven't beat the Steelers in 10 years. Does it end now? Do we end the Steelers' 4-game winning streak? We shall see. Meanwhile, Buffalo is playing Free Willy. How about that? Free Willy has won their last 2 games, otherwise known as the Miami Dolphins. They beat the Jets, who can't win. But they do have 1 win, so that definitely offsets the nickname. And by the way, M. Gase will be coaching next year for the Jets. So we'll see if that works or it doesn't work. Anyways, Buffalo definitely looking for a rebound against Free Willy's hunted brother. Now that will do it all for this week. We thank you all so much for watching this week. We got to look at the topics for next week, which should be the same 3. And of course, high school basketball is coming up. Of course, high school football season coming to close shortly. So time to go high school basketball, which reminds me of the Highland Hornets Sports Network. I will be doing the play-by-play honors there on YouTube. That's right, it's a YouTube channel called the Highland Hornets Sports Network. We'll try to upload a video about it, like talking about what we're going to do. We're going to do basketball games, both boys and girls basketball games, maybe wrestling matches, track meets, baseball, softball, just to name a few. I'm really excited for it. Make sure you subscribe to it, of course. We'll upload a video soon, so you will be ready for it. And time to go through to my trivia question of the week. How many coaches have the Browns gone through since 1999? The expansion Browns. That's right, the expansion Browns. Got your answer? Why, we'll reveal it next week. So that's why you should always watch the Tommy Maroon Sports Show, because you always get a little trivia.